I mean, you're playing against a side that's only won once in the Premier League all season. The form that we've been in, you would expect us to be very, very hot favourites.
We're underway on BBC Radio Newcastle and NUFC TV. United kicking towards the goal to the right as we look. And it's in midfield where Dan Burn wins a big header. Bruno helps it on into the centre circle. Thumped up into the sky by Bednarek. And then Paul Onuachu with a very clumsy challenge on Sandro Tonali at the back of the centre circle. Free kick for Newcastle United. Despite Southampton's issues, can't see many empty red seats around St Mary's. Still getting good support in terms of numbers. Saints. Newcastle looking to create something for the first time today from this free kick into the box towards Cher. Stabbed clear. Livramento out to Tonali, who cuts inside and then has to come back to halfway to Hall. Closed down by Armstrong. Hall with the pressure on him. Back to Dubravka, and Tonali here in the right back position receives it, and high up the right wing for Isak to chase. Header by Bednarek. Newcastle throw on the right wing. Jacob Murphy takes it from a long way back from the line, gives it to Livramento. Southampton make a challenge. Tonali regains possession for United. Bruno could slip it through for the run of Joelinton into the penalty area. It's a corner.
Oh, they're wide open.
Already,
so wide open.
Less than 2 minutes on the clock. Newcastle winning a corner. The ball from Bruno just had a bit too much pace on it for Joelinton, who was on the stretch, but it was played by him off the defender, and a corner on the near right hand side. Anthony Gordon to deliver, but Hall makes a run along the goal line. They haven't seen him. Gordon to Hall, back to Gordon in the area, blocked, and it's another corner. Another clever set piece from Newcastle.
Just switch off again, though, Southampton, don't they? They just get caught.
Gordon and Hall combined. Gordon got in close to the near post when the block was made by Manning. Here's the corner sent into the middle this time, headed out. Livramento now to Gordon, clipped in towards the penalty spot, but it bounces into the hands of McCarthy, and the Southampton goalkeeper claims the ball. It's rolled out to the left hand side to Harwood Bellis, back towards McCarthy, heavy touch. Isak's on top of him. They get it out to the right hand side where it's thumped clear, but straight to Joelinton in midfield. If this is the way Southampton are going to go about things, then Newcastle could get plenty of joy. And on the early evidence, there's no change from August. This is Murphy in behind for the run of Livramento. Newcastle with players queuing up in the middle. He looked for Isak, and the block is made. It comes back to Livramento, still in the penalty area. Now to Murphy. First time deflected cross, caught by the goalkeeper close to the line.
Oh, it was just so easy. Just a ball in over the top. It was just straightforward. Manning was all over the place at left back.
4 minutes played on BBC Radio Newcastle. If you are listening to Southampton against Newcastle, but you want Sunderland versus Plymouth Argyle in the Championship, you'll find Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett's commentary from the Stadium of Light on Freeview Channel 711 and BBC Radio Newcastle on DAB. That's how we split our frequencies when both teams play at the same time. Newcastle always on FM, Sunderland DAB and Freeview Channel 711. Throw for United, Livramento. Bruno up the line on halfway. Isak makes a run, comes to get it, helps it out to Bruno. Great touch from Isak and scooped forwards to him by Bruno. He comes inside. Southampton make a block. And there's a challenge from Joelinton to win the ball for Anthony Gordon. Now Murphy back to Joelinton just outside the area. It's gone for the goal.
Oh dear.
But it's too high. Joelinton, who scored at that end of St Mary's 2 years ago in the first leg of the League Cup semi-final on the way to Wembley. But that was well off target on this occasion.
Yeah, did well to pinch it back in midfield. Gordon got onto it, comes back to Joe Linton. What, 20-25 yards out? No, not pretty.
I'm sure, John Anderson, you take into account Southampton's frailties and form, but no lack of energy or physicality from Newcastle United in the opening 5 minutes. Very different to last week, but of course different opponents to last week, but certainly they don't look tired, which Eddie Howe said they did against Bournemouth.
Well, look, you're playing against a side who haven't won any of the previous 5 home games. Confidence is obviously as low as it can be. You would expect this type of start from us because you expected a reaction from last week.
Gordon, good turn on the far side, lovely spin and pace to get away. It's a great run from Gordon, in behind for Isak, but last-ditch sliding challenge from Bednarek on the edge of the area to stop Alexander Isak getting away and going one-on-one with the goalkeeper. But that was a terrific run from Gordon.
Yeah, great little turn, wasn't it? Just got away. Bree just lets the ball run under his foot, and it's gone out of play for a throw in about 10 yards inside the Southampton half.
Hope the away fans are coming through loud and clear over on the far side in the corner. The Sandro Ole 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 chant for Tonali. Isak tried a reverse ball in behind for Murphy, blocked on this near side by Bednarek, who's followed Isak out to the wide position, sticking with him. That'll be a Southampton throw. Bruno got the last touch. Challenge on him from Aribo in midfield. And Manning, who has played for Ireland.
Yeah, he has.
Brian Manning. Any observations?
No, not really.
I think that says it all. He gets it back in play, then tall Paul Onuachu clips it out to the far side. Walker-Peters into the penalty area, Hall with him, deflection on the cross, then Hall tries to win a header. Walker-Peters wins it back and Joe Linton sticks it out for a throw in line with the Newcastle box. Southampton's first attack in the 8th minute. Aribo deep in midfield, back to halfway to Bednarek, and Harwood-Bellis here, highly rated Taylor Harwood-Bellis, loan last season, then moved permanently from Manchester City in the summer. Aribo, Tonali on his shoulder, goes back and it's left by Bednarek. McCarthy just outside the box takes a touch, lifted up towards Onuachu. Byrne comes to win it. Joe Linton on his chest, they could be in. Isak on his way into the area, cuts inside. They got 2 on him. Bree made the challenge. Gordon's got it on the left wing. Back to Hall. 0-0. Newcastle still on the attack, but they've slowed it down. Gordon to Hall and Joe Linton round the corner for Bruno. Bruno tries to dig out a pass into the penalty area. Southampton block. Byrne and Onuachu compete for the ball. Share covering, lifts it out to Hall. And his pass in field towards Bruno was blocked. Mateus Fernandez. Tonali trying to challenge for it. That's a foul.
Good battle that, wasn't it?
Home side get a free kick on halfway. Competitive play in midfield. Tonali had wrapped his arm around the arm of Mateus Fernandez, the Portuguese under-21 international. And here's the Southampton free kick. Up the right wing, Walker-Peters. He's been a very good player for them over the years. Armstrong into the box, headed away by Byrne. Manning back over to the far side to Fernandez, around Gordon. Now for Walker-Peters in the corner. Byrne sticking with him, makes a block, kept in by Walker-Peters. Deep cross, it's in! Southampton have taken an unlikely lead, and it's Jan Bednarek, the centre-half, with a header from 6 yards out beyond Dubravka. And this wasn't in the script as Newcastle looked to bounce back the table, one win all season, have taken the lead. Jan Bednarek the scorer. Southampton 1, Newcastle United 0.
Well, just straightforward, wasn't it? They recycled it, came back to Bree, sticks a great ball in. It's a free header. I mean, Dubravka's got absolutely no chance. Dan Burn tries to make the tackle. They recycle it, as I said. Free header, middle of the penalty spot, and he just powers it into the corner.
Dan Burn was out wide under, as you said, making the block, but they had Cher near post, Livramento had tucked in, as had Murphy, so there was still three in there, but Bednarek got in between Newcastle players and headed the ball into the back of the net.
Yeah, good header, but free header.
Goal scored in the 10th minute after Newcastle had made a decent enough start. Southampton score first. Joe Linton with a couple of challenges in midfield. Then a Rebo back to Harwood Bellis. This is unfamiliar territory for the Saints. Newcastle need to get back into it. They conceded early last week to Bournemouth, and they've done so again. Meanwhile, Bournemouth, through Justin Kluivert, once again have scored, and they lead Nottingham Forest by a goal to nil. Two of the unlikely challenges for Europe meeting this afternoon, and Bournemouth have the lead in that game. And Southampton have the lead here. And Liverpool 1-0 up on Ipswich. Dubravka with a goal kick to take from a Southampton move up the near side. Ball went behind towards Isak. Bednarek with him. Isak with a touch, then another to play it back towards Bruno, but it's a high ball on halfway that Aribo wins. Ugachukwu to Harwood Bellis, and Fernandez inside to Ugachukwu. Bree, Walker Peters still in their own half of the pitch. Onuachu chasing, Byrne gets there and turns it clear from the far touchline. Bednarek volleys forwards, Livramento's there, volleys it back to Cher, who lays it off to the goalkeeper, then goes wide to give him an angle. Closed down, Fabian Cher, out to Murphy, Bruno inside. Murphy, challenged by Manning, gives it to Dubravka, into Livramento. Aribo closes him down, Livramento
did well,
drops his shoulder, and nice burst up to halfway. Newcastle, this is a better position. Hall on to Gordon. Red and white shirts back, but Gordon cuts inside. Joe Linton back towards Gordon. Couldn't take it. Southampton win it just inside the area. Blocked by Livramento, then cleared by Bednarek. Too high for the big boys, Onuachu and Byrne. And Cher covering behind. The furthest man back for United. Out to Murphy, on to Bruno. He's got two on him, and he's lost it. And Fernandez away from Murphy, then out to this near side for Armstrong to chase. Tonali fronting up as Armstrong cuts inside and goes for a curler, which is an easy save for Dubravka, centre of the goal.
Yeah, that's three times Guimaraes is out of his pocket pinch. They're getting close to him, they're nicking it away.
Gordon on the chase, ball's beaten him. It was about 25 yards from the Southampton goal when it went out. And Bruno being dispossessed led to Bournemouth's second goal last week, and he's the most fouled player in the Premier League this season, but sometimes he doesn't get away with it, and he didn't for the second goal last week, and he didn't there either, but it didn't lead to anything, fortunately for Newcastle. Tonali overhit pass towards Bruno. Aribo wins a throw off Joe Linton. On the far side, the Southampton right. 15th minute. What do you think Eddie Howe will be thinking? And all alone in the technical area, arms folded. His team 1-0 down.
You'll be thinking, who should have been marking Bednarek? You can't be giving free headers away in the middle of your own 18-yard box.
Manning on the near side, infield to Harwood Bellis, up to Armstrong, bit of space just outside the area, turns away from Livramento, and Tonali, left-footed shot, which I think Dubravka would always have been confident of saving. It's too high anyway, so maybe not the best angle.
No, it's
over the top anyway.
Poor decision, wasn't it? It's going to be a worldie to score from there.
Isak competes for the ball in the air. Southampton have it in midfield. And now Harwood Bellis. At the minute, Jacob Murphy's dropped in. It's a back five for Newcastle. Bruno a bit more advanced in their play. Joelinton strong play shoulder to shoulder with Hugo Chukwu on the far side of the pitch, and Share with it now at the back. 1-0 to Southampton. Livramento, Murphy's pushed on, Isak's dropped in, gets it, Murphy makes a run into space, they go wide to Livramento, 30 yards out. Good tackle by Harwood Bellis. Isak then gets in between man and ball and sees it back to Share. Up the line to Livramento, Murphy making the run. Go inside to Isak. Oh, the great feed from Isak away from Harwood Bellis. But then the pass not the best. Southampton make a mess of the clearance. Bruno just outside the box, down to Hall. Isak in the D. What's he got here? Picks out Murphy just inside the area. Jacob Murphy on the outside, deflected for a corner.
Oh, how great were his feet. I mean, Harwood Bellis is just... he's left in no man's land, isn't he? Newcastle with their third corner, 17th minute. A goal down at St Mary's. Hall tries to pick somebody out. It's a Southampton header from Onuachu. Murphy and Armstrong at the edge of the box. Challenge for it. Hoops clear. And Dubravka comes to get it. Gives it short to Livramento. Up the line to Hall, who's on this near right-hand side. Fabian Schär is left wing, and Tonali currently at centre-back. Dan Burn jogs back as Tonali plays it over halfway to Livramento. Murphy, Southampton closing the space, Newcastle having to go back. Burn over to Schär, who's got back into defence, up to Gordon, laid off to Joelinton, first time to Hall, who's back on the left side. It's a good shape from Southampton. Newcastle having to be patient and pass the ball around. Burn now to Livramento. Murphy back to Livramento. On to Bruno. Murphy's got space. Bruno carries it forwards, then rolls in Murphy. Aribo might get there first and does. Tackle, that is.
It's a corner though, so they get something out of it, Newcastle. And the ball made it probably 60-40 in Aribo's favour. Lewis Hall comes over to take his latest corner kick as Newcastle look for an equaliser. Burn next to the penalty spot, Bruno as well, Tonali far post. Hall to the near side, Bruno goes for it. It's another corner. We remember his brilliant back heel at St Mary's a couple of seasons ago at that end of the stadium. Following a corner. Lewis Hall again to deliver. 19 played. High to the back post, but McCarthy makes a comfortable play.
Easy take, wasn't it? Just hung up there, back post. Goalkeepers all day.
The Liverpool goal scorer, by the way, against Ipswich was Dominic Szoboszlai. 1-0 in that game and 1-0 here. Southampton who lead. Straight out of play from the home side. Livramento with a throw back to Schär inside to Dubravka. We didn't move when Bednarek got up for the header.
He had no chance.
Header.
No chance.
Burn to Hall. Gordon makes a run infield and has to go back out wide. Newcastle have lost it. And cross delivered from Bree. Livramento with the ball, Murphy with a back heel to Livramento. They've linked up well. Mateus Fernandez has tripped Tino Livramento, and the yellow card is out from Sam Barrett.
Oh, it was out quick, wasn't it? I think he's been holding that. You're going to get joy down this right hand side because Manning is all over the place at left back.
And Harwood Bellis likes to drift and roam, doesn't he? Like midfield areas, goes forwards, and the space opens up. Free kick is on the right. Adam Armstrong's too close to the ball. Tonali gets the attention of the referee. The whistle's gone there. To signal Armstrong has to move away. It's just inside the Southampton half. Hall's in the centre. Tonali on the diagonal into the box. Headed down to Bruno just outside the area. He wants to hit this, Bruno. He's found Isak. Alexander Isak. Challenge comes in. It's a corner, but Newcastle appeal for a penalty. Sam Barrett points to the corner. Isak goes straight to the referee. Threaded through to him by Bruno. Goalkeeper advancing. Challenge came in from the defender. Corner is the decision, but VAR will look.
I think it'll be a soft penalty. Just seeing it there, Razor.
Well, Aribo doesn't get... I don't think he gets any of the ball, does he? We need to see it again. Chris Kavanagh is on VAR.
Could be given.
VAR is having a proper check now. The graphics are on the giant screens at either end of St Mary's. Checking for a possible penalty. I don't think Aribo gets the ball. Does he foul Aribo as he tries to shoot and kicks through his leg?
I don't know.
Right side of the penalty box, close to the 6-yard line. Aribo across Isak. He can't get the shot off because the leg, Aribo's left leg, comes across his right leg low down, and he didn't get any of the ball, Aribo, from the angles that we've seen. I think this will be given. What do you think?
Probably, yeah.
Just catches him maybe on the top of the boot. VAR still checking. Southampton 1, Newcastle 0.
How long does it take?
Midway through the first half, Newcastle, a VAR check for a potential penalty. Aribo on Isak, 6 yards out. Sam Barrett, hands on hips, waits for Chris Kavanagh to...
It'll be given. It's because it's been taken so long, it'll be given.
They are still looking at it. Newcastle and Southampton wait.
He's going to look. You know what that means, don't you?
Sam Barrett is sent to the screen to review the decision.
You know what that means, don't you?
Usually it means that the on-field call will change on the advice of the VAR. Chris Kavanagh wants the referee to have a proper look, and Sam Barrett comes over to the near side to the TV monitor, officially the referee review area. And hands on hips, he is shown a replay of the incident. Isak played in by Bruno, 6 yards out. Aribo across him with the challenge. Isak couldn't get the shot away as the goalkeeper was advancing. The referee gave corner.
Does Isak throw himself?
He might give penalty.
Does he throw himself?
Well, he definitely can't.
No, I'm asking the question. Does he throw himself?
He just can't complete the shooting action because of the challenge.
It'll be given.
Southampton fans.
It'll be given.
Frustrated with the delay. Sam Barrett's had a look. Now we get the decision. Southampton lead 1-0. Referee says penalty.
Always going to be given when they go to the...
Penalty for Newcastle United at St Mary's. Joe Aribo with the foul. Not too many complaints from him. I think you can make a case the other way, definitely, but you can see why it's given. The replay is being shown on the giant screens. If that was at St James's Park, the place would be going mad. Southampton fans, in the main, seem to have accepted it, as have their players.
There's nothing they can do about it.
Isak picks up the ball and places it down on the penalty spot. He scored in 8 Premier League matches in a row before failing to find the net last week. He didn't have a chance really. He's got an opportunity from 12 yards to score his 18th of the season up against Alex McCarthy after the VAR overturned. The penalty from Isak is into the bottom corner. He sent the keeper the wrong way and stroked it home, and in the 26th minute Alexander Isak levels up the game at St Mary's. Newcastle United and Southampton one apiece.
Well, it's a penalty of a man in form, isn't it? Somebody whose confidence is sky high. Just waits for McCarthy to move and he just tucks it in the other corner.
It's a run up where he skipped and jumped into it. Rolled it into the bottom corner. Eddie Howe applauded and got off his seat as the ball hit the net. Now they are on terms with Southampton, bottom of the table. Got to turn this around, Newcastle, and give themselves the advantage. Southampton throw in the United half. Back it goes to Bednarek. Ugochukwu's dropped in at centre back. See, Harwood Bellis pushed right up on the near side. He's almost playing as a wide player when they go forwards. Bree on the far side doing the same. Midfielders are dropping in. So fluidity in the way they play, but it leaves big gaps, especially on this near side, as you've mentioned, Ando, as Bednarek challenges with Isak on halfway, and Southampton come away with the ball through Manning, who was covering. Harwood Bellis up to Onuachu, on to Mateus Fernandes. Does look like a tidy player, doesn't it?
Yeah, he looks a good player, doesn't he?
15 million from Sporting Lisbon. There'll be a few after him in the summer. One of the players Southampton are missing today among their injured players, those who start, Tyler Dibbling, the 18-year-old attacking midfielder, left-sided, someone Newcastle have been very strongly linked to, along with a lot of clubs. Could be a market for him in the summer, and I'm glad he's not playing, Dibbling. Here's Tonali, strong play, left side of central midfield, and driving up the left wing. Back to Gordon, looking to go in front for the first time this afternoon, Newcastle. Isak to Bruno. Murphy on this right wing. Bruno edge of the area, lets it run. Southampton with bodies back, trying to keep everything narrow and condensed. Newcastle go out to the corner to Hall, and that stretches the Southampton back line. Isak on the edge of the box, through for Bruno, back heel, Isak, good save by McCarthy, and then the goalkeeper under pressure from Bruno catches the ball at the second attempt. It was straight at him, but it was hit powerfully, and he pushed it up, goalkeeper McCarthy, and Bruno chased in the rebound, but underneath the crossbar it was gathered at the second attempt.
Yeah, it just needed to be either side, didn't it?
Would have been a lovely goal because of the combination and the link up between Isak and Bruno.
Yeah, either side of McCarthy, and that was in.
Challenge won by Byrne fairly. On halfway, Jacob Murphy away and into space, and now for Isak, what a touch! Isak is in and scores! Oh, he is unstoppable! Alexander Isak found by Jacob Murphy, that combination again, and a superb, sublime first touch to get away, and he slotted it in off the bottom right post beyond McCarthy. Isak has scored twice to turn it around for Newcastle United. 19 goals this season. Half an hour played at St Mary's. Southampton 1, Newcastle United 2.
Oh, what a player. What a player, what a finish that is as well. Great take, and he just tucks it past McCarthy, takes the paint off the post. Southampton wide open again. unlike Bournemouth last week, they're just giving him far too much space and room. Bournemouth didn't give him any space at all. Bednarek just doesn't get close to him at all, and it's a simple finish from a quality player.
That first touch is a thing of beauty.
First touch is brilliant.
BBC Radio Newcastle and NUFC TV 2-1 to United, who were behind from Bednarek's header. Isak with a penalty, and then that finish inside of the right boot, across the keeper who dived the other way and into the bottom corner. And this is now going the way that we expected it to. But Isak looking to get in behind Bednarek again, and he's got there in the penalty area. Isak slows it down, tries to cross, it's blocked, back to Gordon. Joelinton in the penalty box, takes a touch, hits one off the post! Offside is the call, so it wouldn't have counted. But when Joelinton hit the post, Newcastle were very close to making it 3-1. And this game has been tipped upside down over the space of just a few minutes, but Joelinton came back from an offside position, and fair play to the assistant on the near side, who was spot on with that decision.
Yeah, he was well offside. Bednarek's just letting people run off him, not getting close.
2-1 Newcastle lead still. Livramento's header. Isak got a hat-trick at Ipswich, Newcastle's first hat-trick for 5.5 years since Ayoze Perez, which was against Southampton at home. One of the final matches under Rafa Benitez. You would fancy him to get another today and complete his second hat-trick for the club, no doubt about it. 2 already, and an hour of football still to go. Burn and Southampton defence, like so many Premier League defences, absolutely terrified of what Isak can do. It's close to Bednarek, he's in between Bednarek and Ugachukwu, comes short this time. Bednarek follows him, Bruno and Tonali on halfway. Isak's got it,
Bednarek's dropped right off him again,
and through towards Murphy, but Murphy couldn't quite get there from Isak's left-footed ball that was just bending in towards the right-hand post. And Southampton play it forwards from the back. Now in the middle third of the pitch, Harwood Bellis to Aribo. Harwood Bellis inside, Onuachu. Scored his first goal last week in the 3-2 defeat by Nottingham Forest. They were 3 down, they almost came back, Southampton, lost 3-2. Close to getting a point. Harwood Bellis now in the corner on the near side, straight to Murphy, header up from Jacob Murphy. Bednarek wins it. Tonali to Murphy, and now Isak in the penalty area. Isak, good save, low down by McCarthy to deny Isak a first half hat-trick. Now Lewis Hall wins it back on the far side for Newcastle United. Hall tackled by Ugachukwu, who makes a sliding challenge on Joelinton, and Southampton get the ball up to the halfway line where Dan Burn plays it forwards. Joelinton, Ugachukwu all over him, free kick given. 35 yards out on the left. Way Isak hit that hard and low across the keeper. Thought it was going to nestle in the bottom corner, received it just inside the box, took it away from goal, out to the right, through the legs of Harwood Bellis, and the goalkeeper had to be sharp to get it away with his boot.
Yeah, good save by the keeper. Doesn't matter what part of your body you save it with.
2-1 to Newcastle. Here's the free kick. Gordon and Hall Lewis Hall whips it in. Isak gets it at the edge of the area, finds Murphy. Now Bruno. Southampton with a couple of blocks. Murphy towards Fabian Schär. Sorry, Bruno towards Fabian Schär. Right corner of the 6-yard box. Schär at full stretch, but the flag is up. He was offside.
Yeah, he was offside.
Our featured non-league game today is in the National League playoff positions. Gateshead at home to Oldham. Gateshead losing 1-0. We'll have a report from the International Stadium at half-time. And still, Sunderland 0-0 with Plymouth in the Championship. That commentary is on DAB and Freeview Channel 711. Mateus Fernandes across midfield for Southampton, carried it well. Walker-Peters on the right wing. Fernandes now back to Ugachukwu. And Aribo in front of the centre circle. Joelinton with a block on Ugachukwu's pass. And he carries it across midfield and chooses to play it to Harwood Bellis, the Southampton defender, number 6. Inside to Ugachukwu. Armstrong's dropped in, come deep to link up the play and give it back to Aribo. And Bree, the right-sided centre-back in the Southampton back 3, to Walker-Peters, twisting and turning, Hall sticking with him. Angled ball, played into the box on the floor. Dan Burn sticks it out of play. Southampton 1, Newcastle 2. Aribo, long sleeves and gloves, left-footed, across midfield. In the 37th minute, Mo Salah has made it Liverpool 2, Ipswich 0. Everybody bar Isak behind the ball in Newcastle maroon and blue. Southampton, Ugachukwu, Bruno slides in. Joelinton then with a block, Tonali with a challenge. Livramento and now Murphy battling to win it back. And Bruno up to Isak. Oh, another turn
Just
from
stood
Isak.
off him again, Bednarek.
And Isak still carrying it. Foot on the ball, looked for Gordon, but it was too straight, and Gordon held his position out wide. McCarthy has it at his feet in the penalty area.
Yeah. He's causing them all sorts of problems, isn't he? He's just dropping off, they're not coming with him. It's getting turned round, and once he gets turned round and has a go at you, you're in trouble.
Southampton saying Byrne had fouled Onuachu.
He only had 2 hands around him.
Nothing given. Tonali on halfway. Back to Schär, who replaced Botman in the only Newcastle change. Pope is on the bench today after returning from injury. And they lead 2-1 through Isak penalty. And then a finish into the bottom corner after Bednarek had given Southampton the lead. Schär through the middle. Gordon.
How open is that?
Flags up though. Gordon went for the shot anyway and clipped the top of the...
I know he's offside, but how open is it? Straight through the middle of that Southampton defence. I tell you what, that's tight. Maybe just offside.
He's leaning into an offside position, Gordon, isn't he? Came in off the left wing, through the centre. Harwood Bellis back to McCarthy. And Tonali on the near side for Newcastle has come away with the ball, with Aribo making the challenge. Then the last touch was off Manning, the left wing back, and Murphy picks up the yellow ball, throws it back into play. Harwood Bellis clears, Joelinton recovers, possession, Bruno. Now Gordon's on his bike. Bruno tries to find Gordon, goes wide left. Hall in the middle. Gordon taking on Bree into the box. Gordon on his right, gives it back to Bruno. Lifts up the cross, too high for Murphy, and it's a goal kick. And to be fair, it was in between Murphy and Isak, and Southampton were able to see it behind.
Yeah, there's more goals in this if they want it. As I said, left back Manning struggling, Bednarek struggling.
5 minutes to half time. Mateus Fernandez. Bruno, strong challenge. Fernandez has stayed down. He's holding his head. Referee has decided to stop the game just as he picks himself up. They didn't get the free kick. Newcastle continue to play on across midfield towards the left. But Sam Barrett has blown the whistle. Bruno went in strong in the challenge. Mateus Fernandez got caught but is okay. Fabian Schär tried to drive it in the inside right position for Murphy to run onto, but blocked by Southampton, who now building an attack. Far side of the pitch, Walker Peters inside, then outside, then comes back inside again to Aribo. 2-1 Newcastle lead. Isak with both. Harwood Bellis and Manning back inside to Harwood Bellis. 30 yards out the defender.
Going backwards.
Aribo. Harwood Bellis gives him the option and gets it again. Now Manning near to the touchline, 20 yards out, scoop forwards, no offside against Aribo. Tried to find Armstrong, it's come straight to Bruno. Isak wanting it, making his run out to the left. Bruno to Joelinton, the return ball to Bruno was well read by Aribo.
Running in quicksand, wasn't he?
That was Bruno. Aribo was on his toes and recovered the ball for Southampton. His manager Ivan Juric is certainly lively on the touchline. He's on the move and really involved in the game. Eddie Howe and Jason Tyndall watching on to the right in the Newcastle technical area. It's Mateus Fernandez wide to Bree, up to Walker Peters, close to the penalty box, on to Bree, who continued his run after playing the ball, back to Walker Peters. Isak trying to close down Uga Chukwu. They found Fernandez, now Bree, first time cross, Schär heads away. It was that side that they delivered a successful cross for the Bednarek goal. Newcastle dealing with the delivery this time, and Walker Peters back to halfway. And now Aribo steps over the ball. Armstrong's lost it, and he looks for Bruno. Looks for Livramento. Armstrong was holding Bruno, who couldn't complete the pass. Had he done so, Livramento would have been away. Free kick given just inside Southampton territory. 2-1 to Newcastle, and no hurry to take the free kick. In the meantime, there's been a goal at Brighton for Everton, and Iliman Ndiaye is Everton's goal scorer. That was a penalty. He's had a good season, Ndiaye, for Everton. Return of David Moyes at Everton. Thrashed Spurs last week. Well, at one point they were thrashing Spurs. He threatened to come back. Now they're winning at Brighton. Here's the free kick from Newcastle, but there's an offside, so it will be a Southampton free kick. And McCarthy places the ball on the correct spot in the box. The assistant referee makes his way up to halfway. That's where the Southampton defenders have pushed up to. And McCarthy looks out to this near side. Onuachu gives Tonali a shove, heads it infield, straight to Joelinton. Looks for Byrne, but given away by Joelinton. Leslie Uga Chukwu, the Chelsea loanee, to Walker Peters. Wide on the Southampton right. Two Newcastle players there with him. Back to Aribo, close down by Bruno. Inside to Fernandez. And now they go backwards with it, Southampton. Final minute of the opening 45. Aribo lifts it high over Isak to Harwood Bellis. Manning comes in off the left wing, right-footed delivery, hung up there, decent header from Walker Peters, who drifted in from the right wing to the centre of the box, but it's wide, not far wide though, of Dubravka's right-hand post.
Too easy though, isn't it? He's not the biggest. Once again, you've got to ask where your centre-backs are. Had Dubravka scramble in mind.
Dubravka is going to go long with this goal kick, it seems. And we will shortly be shown the numbers board by Simon Hooper. It's too high for Joelinton. Gordon tries to help it on. Walker-Peters turns away from both Gordon and Isak at the edge of the area. Inside to Ugachukwu. 3 minutes minimum time added to the first half here on BBC Radio Newcastle. And Manning on the near touchline. Back to Aribo. Southampton trying to create something before the whistle. Trying to level the game. Cody Gakpo's made it 3-0 to Liverpool against Ipswich. Aribo and Manning on this left wing. Now Fernandez involved. Ugachukwu 5 yards outside the Newcastle box. Manning closed down by Murphy. Swings in the cross. Dubravka claims and drops to the floor in the centre.
I tell you what, it's a decent ball put in. Nobody in there in a red and white striped shirt wants to attack it though.
Somebody makes a darting run to the near post area. They could get that. But nobody did. Fabian Schär, ball at his feet. Over to Byrne. Hall on the touchline. Gordon just up the line. Joelinton inside at an angle. He's run into trouble. Then he's fouled the Southampton player, but the whistle had gone for a foul on Joelinton. And that's fortunate for Newcastle.
He's cleaned them out.
And it's the big guy, Onuachu. He was on the stretch, Joelinton, and caught the Nigerian international. But the referee's whistle had already gone for a Newcastle free kick. Ugachukwu did have hands on Joelinton, who caught him studs on the inside of the foot. And that's a painful one.
Just as well he was fouled.
Yeah.
A VAR would have looked at that.
Yeah, well, I think probably the referee would have taken action because he was close to it. But it's Newcastle's free kick because the whistle had already gone. First half additional time. Dubravka with the free kick. Still 0-0 Sunderland against Plymouth in the Championship. The Stadium of Light. Our other commentary today. Dubravka towards Isak, edge of the area. Southampton header. Joelinton with a block, and it comes for Hall. Good bit of skill from Hall, taking on two. Now he's in the corner. Still Lewis Hall. Ball has gone behind, and it's a goal kick. Good battling. Hall and Walker-Peters.
He's unlucky. Tried to take two of them on.
Get the half-time whistle when the ball goes forwards. Colin White in the studio will run through all the other scores at half-time, and we have reached the interval at St Mary's. Jan Bednarek gave Southampton the lead with a free header in the box from across from the right in the 10th minute. Then to Derby, but that similar style from the late 90s, early 2000s. Southampton have only won once here in the Premier League this season. That was against Everton, 1-0 in November. They took the lead against Newcastle today in the 10th minute, but United with the 2 goals from Isak turned it around. Second half just underway. Paul Onuachu has been fouled by Sandro Tonali on the right, just inside the Newcastle half, and a free kick for Saints. So United get back to defend. They're shooting towards the goal to the left as we look. The away fans in the corner on the far side, close to the end that Newcastle are attacking. We'll run through the teams again after this Southampton free kick. There's a problem on the touchline now. The referee's coming across, and the fourth official is telling a member of the Southampton staff to get back, and they have been yellow carded by referee Sam Barrett. Maybe they wanted a yellow card for the challenge on Onuachu, though it wasn't that bad. Minute gone in the second half. Here's the free kick. Mateus Fernandez on the diagonal into the box. It's a decent one. Schär with the header, then Bruno on, and now Isak. Newcastle trying to counter-attack. Leaves it for Murphy. Got plenty of options to the right-hand side. Comes to the left to Gordon. Gordon cuts inside, then plays it back to Hall. Southampton get bodies back into position. Newcastle keep possession, but the ball is in front of Southampton, and Gordon goes back to Cher. United, Dubravka, Livramento, Cher, Byrne, Hall, Bruno, Tonali, Joelinton, Murphy, Isak, Gordon. Pope back on the bench, and Cher for Botman is the only change. This is Tonali up the right wing for Murphy. That's a good ball. Isak wants it played in. Wanted it whipped over to the far post, but Murphy's cross was cut out by a defender on the 18-yard line on the near side. Southampton quickly turn it over, and Walker-Peters running at Lewis Hall. Joelinton there, they're doubling up. Joelinton pokes the ball out for a throw.
Yeah, he didn't really know what he was doing, did he, Walker-Peters? He didn't have a great deal of help either, to be fair. It was they broke. Joelinton doubled up with Hall. Throw goes back.
Bednarek along the halfway line to Aribo, left of centre. Southampton with McCarthy, the goalkeeper, Bree, Bednarek, Harwood Bellis, their centre backs. Walker-Peters, Ugachukwu, Aribo, Manning, Fernandez, Onuachu and Armstrong. Nicely worked on the far side. Livramento coming across, slides in, corner kick. Manning for Southampton, Livramento strong challenge. And Southampton set piece.
He was always favourite for that, wasn't he?
Far left hand side.
Ball in behind was just overhit. He was always winning that one, Livramento.
Corner to be right-footed from the left in swinger. Fernandez delivers. Dubravka comes, tries to push it away, and then has to make a save, because after he pushed it clear, Southampton followed up immediately, and Martin Dubravka tipped it over the top from Harwood Bellis' effort.
Tell you what, he recovered well, because he came and he flapped at the cross. It bounced down. It's an overhead kick. It's a bicycle kick from... It's a good save in the end. It's a good recovery from the keeper.
Sharp reaction from Dubravka. Off his line, central position in the goal mouth and over the bar. Southampton corner. Manning left-footed from the near side, swings towards the back post. Dubravka with an easy save this time, low down from Harwood Bellis again, who got the header.
Yeah, the angle was all wrong, wasn't it, for the header? It needed to go back across goal. He's gone for that near post, easy take in the end for the keeper. But the original save, he did well, because as I say, he came and he flapped.
It was Lewis Hall up to Gordon. Ugachukwu's won it back for Southampton. It found its way to Joelinton, who was the player dispossessed. And Southampton, with, from their point of view, a positive start to the second half. 50 on the clock, still 2-1 to United, who are fourth in the current standings. That's where any sort of victory takes them, at least until the end of the 5:30 kickoff. Back to the goalkeeper, and then calmly out to the right to Livramento, then Cher. That's a ball for Isak to chase. Not a bad attempt from Cher, long pass up the pitch. Isak then to Tonali, good header. Gordon, Tonali's in one-on-one. Sandro Tonali against McCarthy, yes! Sandro Tonali finishes into the bottom corner. They went up to Isak, back to Tonali, then played through for the Italian, who carried his run forwards from central midfield. And when McCarthy came out, Tonali just rolled it past him into the corner, and then runs across to the away section to celebrate. Newcastle have increased their lead early in the second half. Tonali's third of the season. Southampton 1, Newcastle United 3.
Just so simple, so simple. Southampton's middle of the back four are just so wide open. They get so stretched, and one ball just kills them. And once he gets through there, it's a good finish. I mean, he just runs. It's a great finish. Game, set, match.
Gave the keeper the eyes, Tonali. Isak off his shoulder, then on to Gordon, who found Tonali with the angled ball between the two Southampton defenders, and then just one touch from Tonali to take it into the box. Had a look at McCarthy. Keeper moved to his left, Tonali played it to McCarthy's right. And he finished that very nicely indeed. And they're looking good for what would be a 6th away win of the season in the Premier League, and a 4th in a row in the Premier League away from home. Hall, who last week made his 50th appearance for the club, out to Gordon, up to Isak, on to Hall. Ooh, goalkeeper just got there. It was almost...
But carbon copy, but
yes.
Yet again, it's just, they're wide open. They've gone to a back 4.
Hall was offside actually,
yeah.
But again, the ball played forwards and then the run continued.
But Southampton have gone to the back 4 this second half, and 2 centre-backs are miles apart.
And they're not tracking runners either. 3-1. There are plenty more goals in this for Newcastle United. Isak with a flick on Harwood Bellis. What do you think of Harwood Bellis? Because Manchester City had him loaned up to Southampton. He was England under-21 captain when they won the Euros, when Gordon got player of the tournament, which will be 2 years ago now. Here's Gordon on to Isak. Hold that thought. Isak inside away from his man. Now to Bruno, looking for Gordon. Southampton managed to get it back to the keeper off Bree, but it wasn't an intentional touch. They got lucky there.
Yeah, I think he needs to go back to 3 centre-backs, because if this continues the way it is, this could end up embarrassing, because those 2 centre-backs are all over the place.
And Newcastle look determined and look hungry for more goals. But Harwood Bellis, England international now, but maybe it's just the Southampton setup that isn't perhaps working, because
I'm not sure about him.
Yeah. The gap
doesn't want to defend, I know that much.
Wants to play. 54 minutes played. Southampton 1, Newcastle 3, as the away fans chant "Say hello to Sunderland." Still 0-0 between Sunderland and bottom of the table Plymouth at the Stadium of Light. You can listen to commentary on that one on DAB and Freeview channel 711. Share in midfield, wins it for Isak. Gordon crowded out, but it's come to Isak. A back heel to Hall. Lewis Hall just outside the area. Hall rides another challenge. Pulled down, was he? Hall appeals to the referee, who's given a corner, but Lewis Hall is adamant that he was pulled to the floor, and it looked like he was on the edge of the area. Not sure if it had been a foul, potentially inside, but it was a really good run from Hall. Bednarek had a bit of a swipe at him, but what do you think, John Anderson?
See, it's soft, the penalty's given.
Was it inside though?
Doesn't matter, it's momentum carried him in. Oh, and then he falls backwards instead of falling forward.
It's going to be a corner, nothing more. Byrne is in there, Share back post, Murphy to Hall, and then wide again, then Murphy, Gordon free edge of the box into a crowd of players in the middle. Another smart set piece from Newcastle. Gordon didn't catch the effort particularly cleanly. This is Murphy now cutting in from the right, left-footed shot from Murphy. It's the post. McCarthy beaten by Murphy's effort, and they almost had a 4th.
Good effort, wasn't it? Just drifts in, and they just stand off him again. You can see exactly what he wants to do, but they just stand off him and let him do it. And he curls it. McCarthy's at full stretch, smacks the post full on. Just so easy at the moment.
2 from Isak. Tonali with their 3rd early in the second half, given away. Harwood Bellis, edge of the area. Joelinton to Bruno. Bruno mustn't have got a call of man on, because Manning came from behind to push the ball away just as he was about to cross. Newcastle with it on halfway. Livramento back to Cher. And another goal elsewhere, and a big one. Bournemouth 2, Nottingham Forest 0. Dango Ouattara, who was the player that had one ruled out by VAR at St James's last week.
Not gone away, are they?
Well, Bournemouth aren't.
No.
Up the right wing towards Isak, headed out by Southampton. He'll be desperate for a chance to get his hat-trick. He's taken the throw, giving it to Bruno. Harwood Bellis ended up on the floor. Bruno lifts it forwards. Murphy again off his chest, but straight to Bree at the edge of the area. The room that Southampton leave for runners is so inviting from Newcastle's point of view, but it is so risky if you're Southampton. Foul by Joelinton on Ugachukwu. Ivan Juric, the Southampton boss, is responding with at least one change. Cameron Archer, the forward, is coming on. There's an offside against Southampton. They're still getting the substitution and the change ready. They're going to make a double switch. I don't know if they'll get the players on before the free kick is taken. Probably not. Martin Dubravka comes to the centre circle to take it. Newcastle with Pope, Trippier, Botman, Osula, Almiron, Kelly, Willock, Longstaff and Miley on the bench. Now Southampton substitutes: Lumley the keeper, Downs, Smallbone, Lallana, Wood, Sugawara, Archer, Fraser, Bella, Kotchap. 3-1 to Newcastle. Dubravka, free kick from inside the centre circle to the edge of the area towards Byrne, away by Southampton, on the chest of Joelinton, back to Hall, inside to Tonali. Cher wants it on the left side of the box, but it's out to the right to Livramento. Murphy inside to Bruno, who lets it run, then through for Livramento. Good spot and a good run from Livramento. Chance to deliver the cross back to Bruno. He swings it up. Cher has kept it in and back across the face of goal from Fabian Cher. Southampton playing it short, can't clear. It's a Newcastle throw on the right wing, but they're going to make the changes first. And now Bournemouth, through Justin Kluivert, lead Nottingham Forest 3-0, and Southampton are replacing Adam Armstrong, who again doesn't score against his old club. He's being joined in leaving the pitch by Ryan Manning, the left back, and the two coming on, Cameron Archer, who we mentioned a moment ago, and Yuki Sugawara, the Japanese international, a summer signing from Alkmaar in the Netherlands. So Sugawara has gone to the right side, and I think they've gone back to the 5, Ando. Walker Peters over to the left.
Well, they have to do something, because the middle of that back 4, you could drive, never mind drive one bus, you could drive 2 buses through the middle of it.
3-1 here, and at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Plymouth Argyle 1. That would be a shock in championship terms. And it's an own goal by the Sunderland goalkeeper, Anthony Patterson. Don't have any more information other than that. Newcastle looking through Tonali to play in Hall, one back by Southampton. Substitute Sugawara, back to the keeper McCarthy, backpedaling. Sunderland have just equalised, so maybe there's not going to be the shock. DAB, Freeview Channel 711 for the Sunderland commentary from Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett. Wilson Isidore, the player that had the 2 penalties saved and then the goal controversially ruled out the other night. Sunderland's equaliser. Newcastle possession. Cher, far touchline up to Joelinton. Isak is on the outside, gets it. Murphy is offside, so has to leave the ball. Miley and Almiron warming up. 62 minutes played. Harwood Bellis. Clipped forwards to the left wing, Onuachu. Archer in the middle, back to Fernandez, who beats Tonali to the ball. Short pass to Walker-Peters. Aribo to Ugachukwu, who turns. Bednarek to Bree, closed down by Gordon. He's lifted it inside and done well. James Bree, Joe Linton tracking him. Archer towards Bree, heavy touch and behind for a Newcastle goal.
Just haven't got it, have they? Could be a long half hour for Southampton.
Well, they've hit the post through Murphy. Newcastle since going 3-1 up, and had the moment with Lewis Hall, didn't they? At the edge of the area where he thought he was fouled, it led to a corner. Definitely the opportunity to win this game by a bigger margin. They're 2 goals ahead at 3-1. Isak with 2, Tonali with the 3rd. Isak has scored in 5 Premier League away matches in a row. He's the first Newcastle player to do that. Bednarek, header on halfway. Newcastle inside. Ugachukwu away from Bruno. Tejas Fernandez. To Walker-Peters on the far side of the pitch. Onuachu, edge of the area, laid off to Fernandez, and left-footed shot parried by Dubravka, and following up was Onuachu, but he couldn't get there. Gordon to Ugachukwu, but Bednarek with a header to win that contest with Isak on halfway. It's parried by Dubravka into the middle. Now Aribo in the left corner for Southampton. Game being played outside the Newcastle box at the minute. Share header away. Gordon brings it down under control. Joe Linton breakers on this time as well. Joe Linton driving through the middle. Isak wide left, gets it to feet. Murphy on the far side. Gordon making the run through the centre. Isak on to Gordon in the penalty box. Cuts it back. Joe Linton with a chance to make it 4, and it's deflected just wide.
I tell you what, it's so easy. It's really embarrassing watching Southampton. You feel for them, because they're like school kids. Nobody wants to defend, nobody wants to mark.
Gordon cut it back, it just missed Hall, then it got away from Joe Linton, but he was able at an angle on the turn to hit it back across goal, and it deflected just past the post. Corner on the near side, 3-1 Newcastle. Gordon with the delivery towards the back post, and it's going to be a goal
penalty.
Kick. Well, Joe Linton hit the floor as the challenge came in. The referee didn't see anything in that, and to be fair, Joe Linton didn't appeal. Dubravka with an important save, Ando at the other end. I thought Onuachu was well placed to get to the rebound first, but he missed it. Tejas Fernandez, who...
He's a good player, this kid.
I'm not sure will be at Southampton next season.
No.
Diving header away by Lewis Hall, finds Gordon. Isak wants to be played in behind and chases after the ball, but it bends away from him. Harwood Bellis came across to cover. His pass up the pitch is intercepted by Lewis Hall, who holds off Sugawara. That'll be a free kick because he held on again, Sugawara. And Hall played quickly to Joe Linton, back to Tonali on halfway. Might get some Newcastle changes soon. Joe Willock warming up now with Almiron and Miley. Our featured non-league match at the International Stadium is now level. Gateshead have equalised, 1-1 with Oldham. 4th against 5th, Luke Hannant with Gateshead's goal. 66 on the clock at St Mary's. Bree to Sugawara. Back to Bree, who gave him the angle inside. trying to get Archer in behind Byrne. Dubravka's left his penalty box and sticks it out into this main stand. Safety first from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, no need to take any chances. It's been very comfortable.
And when they turn over possession, the gaps are there and the break is on, and they've got it here. Tonali, that's incredible feat, and he's won another challenge inside to Isak. Oh, it rebounded off Gordon and fell for Southampton. Bruno gets it in the middle. It's a bit scrappy, a bit like pinball, and Bednarek, Southampton very fortunate there, onto Mateus Fernandes, buzzing around and making progress up the left side of the pitch. Harwood Bellis in a central midfield position, now whipped over to Bree. Sugawara on the outside of Hall, low cross, stabbed away by Byrne. Gordon to the feet of Isak, and back through for Gordon to chase after. The furthest Newcastle player forwards in the Southampton half. 3 defenders with him, joined by Bruno here in the middle, wide right to Murphy. Murphy looks for Joelinton, and it's behind, is it? Oh, the away fans claim a corner. The assistant keeps his flag down. McCarthy must have caught that in time.
Must have done. It looked out. But Southampton are just so stretched, they're leaving gaps all over the place. If they don't get done again, you'd be amazed.
Could and probably should be further ahead. Here's Cher winning it from Onuachu. Tonali, a difficult ball to deal with. It came to him from Joelinton from halfway. He goes back to the goalkeeper. Byrne now to Hall. Tonali just inside, receives it back to Hall. Joelinton lets it run for Bruno. Joelinton here back towards Bruno, but given away. Aribo across midfield. Murphy went to close down Fernandes, who's helped it on to Walker-Peters, then makes the run. Livramento fouled by Fernandes. Intelligent play from Livramento. He knew the challenge was coming, took the hit, gets the free kick. If you want to give us a call and speak to John Anderson after the match, the lines are open now. BBC Radio Newcastle's phone number 0800 234 6565. Whether it's about the game or transfer window, any Newcastle topics. I know. Not that there's much to say about
wind people up, Razor, are you?
Well, it's all right when you're winning, isn't it? Nothing happening incoming.
Oh,
might be another goal happening here. Bruno. Oh, it's just got away from Livramento. That's so unlucky.
Hey.
Off the outside of the right boot from Bruno, and it just bent out of play on the far side. Livramento made the run, and there was nobody there.
But Southampton are making it so easy for us, though. There's just gaps appearing all over the place. They're wide open. They were compact in the first half. Second half, it just...
Foul by Cher on Onuachu. No, it's not Cher, is it?
It is Cher,
yeah. Sorry. It is Fabian Cher. He's down holding his face. Southampton free kick. The phone number 0800 234 6565. If you've never called us before, we'd love to hear from you. Same as if you're a regular on the show, 0800 234 6565. Cher might need some treatment. Liverpool have scored a fourth. Liverpool 4, Ipswich 0. 1-1 at Sunderland against Plymouth. Commentary on that one on DAB. It's Freeview Channel 711.
Didn't get too much sympathy, did he?
Isak hoping for a chance to get his hat-trick. 2 from him in the first half, turned it around. Tonali added the third. Bednarek had opened the scoring for Southampton. Newcastle win it in midfield. Yeah. Bruno Guimaraes. Fair challenge by Ugachukwu. Bruno believed he had been fouled. Play continues. Walker-Peters Now they are on the right wing. Sugawara back to Bree, inside to Uga Chukwu, on to Sugawara. Good movement from Southampton. Sugawara's cross, share with the header. Joe Linton first to the second ball, on to Gordon. Was he caught? Yes, referee's given it.
Hey, I tell you what, the referee wasn't given anything till he rolled around.
He gave himself a second or two, Sam Barrett. And Southampton supporters in the...
he hasn't been popular, honestly.
In the hospitality area behind us, the glass boxes, not happy. Bounced up onto Gordon's right foot, and then
doesn't catch him.
Uga Chukwu came in to try to win it. Free kick.
Hey, honestly, referees won't need referees soon, you know.
What will it be? AI?
No, it just won't be anything, because you won't be able to touch anyone at all.
Bruno fired out to Murphy, then comes back to Bruno looking for Livramento. Fernandez with the header. Murphy heads forwards. Nobody there for Newcastle. Southampton throw in their half, left hand side. Trey Humes turned it around for Sunderland. Like Newcastle have come from behind to lead. 2-1 for Sunderland against Plymouth. Onuachu holds it up, plays it back to his defenders. Bednarek to Sugawara. Bree onto Bednarek, who now moves into midfield with the ball. Into the position on the right for Southampton towards Archer. Burn out of play. Newcastle are preparing to make changes. Lewis Miley's getting ready to come on, and Joe Willock's coming back to the bench. Miguel Almiron has spent most of the second half warming up and continues to do so. .74 minutes played. Southampton with Newcastle 3-1 up at St Mary's. Uga Chukwu. Here's a ball hoisted into the box towards Onuachu, chested down. Fernandez with a shot. Byrne has to clear from the 6-yard line, and Joe Linton away. And Isak couldn't get in behind Bednarek, who positioned himself well and got the ball to Harwood Bellis on halfway. Walker-Peters hangs up the cross. Lewis Hall's header to the edge of the area. Sugawara, now Bree back into the middle. Joe Linton to Gordon, back to Hall, up to Gordon, and Gordon turns a couple of times, outside then inside, and moves it over to the far side to Livramento. Willock and Miley will be Newcastle's first two to come on. Bruno back to Cher. Isak's come out to the left wing. Gordon's gone through the centre. He's just not had a chance, has he, in the second half, Isak? Did have it, a shot save when he went for his hat-trick, and also had the effort when he linked up nicely with Bruno that was beaten away by the goalkeeper. That was in the first half. Isak gets it on the touchline here, flicks it forwards to Tonali. It's a lovely touch. Now Tonali holds it up towards Hall, then with the pass, but Southampton through a rebound back to Bednarek, centre of their half. 3-1 Newcastle. Changes about to be made. There's a message on the giant screen at St Mary's. Book your Christmas party.
I thought you were going to say your relegation party.
Well, that's planning ahead, isn't it? For next Christmas.
That's next year, yeah.
And they might not have such the demand, although if they're in the Championship, they'd be one of the promotion favourites, wouldn't they? Yeah, 11 months today. Book early to avoid disappointment. Uga Chukwu wins a corner. Cross blocked by Tonali. Southampton are going to bring on midfielder Will Smallbone. It's like Newcastle will wait. That must be frustrating if you're waiting to come on. And then the ball goes dead, but it's a set piece, so they don't make the change. Just feel for players who are about to come on and then are stuck there. Referee is talking to Fabian Cher and Paul Onuachu. They paid 18 million for Onuachu to Genk in Belgium a couple of years ago.
To be fair, he's battled away.
And gives them a physical presence. They're not the biggest side. Mateus Fernandez whipped in. Onuachu threw himself at it. Tonali lifted clear. Back to Walker Peters. Nice first touch. Driven into the box towards Harwood Bellis. Joelinton ended up on the floor and got the ball clear. Murphy to Gordon. Newcastle through Gordon. On the move. Archer sticking with him. Gordon just loves to run and carry them up the pitch. Mateus Fernandez got back to him. And one possession. Walker Peters now. Southampton with Aribo. 3 Newcastle maroon and blue shirts there. Aribo finds another red and white shirt. And now it's Ugachukwu, blocked by Joelinton in the centre. Ugachukwu on, straight to Dan Burn. Onto Gordon. Looked for Joelinton. It was a tired pass and it's blocked. Archer forced wide of goal by Burn. Sugawara can't get there. Burn clears. Gordon with Isak in the middle. Tackled by Ugachukwu. Burn inside, getting it away to Archer. And Gordon wins it back. Joelinton. 3-1 Newcastle lead. Can they get number 4 as Miley and Willock wait still to come on? Murphy takes it out to the right wing. Back to Livramento on halfway. Slowed it right down. Looking for Bruno. Free kick. Now they can make the changes. First player off is Bruno, replaced by Lewis Miley. We're in the 79th minute now on the south coast, and Alexander Isak won't get his hat-trick. John Anderson, Joe Willock is his replacement. The second goal was finished superbly, and the penalty, no mistake from the spot. 2 crucial goals in the first half to help Newcastle overcome the early setback of conceding.
Yeah, he was brilliant first half. Hasn't seen a great deal of it second half, but he was the difference in the first half, no doubt about it. He just deserves his rest, even though he's not going to get his hat-trick. You just need to keep him fit.
Eddie Howe high-fives him, then taps him on the back. Bruno getting congratulations from his teammates on his way to his seat on the bench. 2 of their big boys, the star players, off. And they've taken the free kick, Newcastle. On the right, here's another one of the star men, Tonali, who scored the 3rd today. He's been typical Tonali, really. Livramento forced back towards Joelinton in front of halfway. Arsenal have got 10 men at Wolves, but they've scored. Miles Lewis-Skelly, the youngster, was sent off before half-time. Ricardo Calafiori with the goal for Arsenal. Be a big win in their pursuit of Liverpool, who are... and Wolves have had a player sent off as well. Here's Joe Willock on the left, drifting into the box. Gordon with a curler blocked. Gordon, I think, has gone to centre forward with Willock wide left, although Willock played through the middle at Spurs when he came on. Hall. No route forwards. Backwards and then inside to Livramento. 3-1 to Newcastle. They probably should have extended the lead. Murphy's hit the post in the second half. They've had other moments. Willock to Murphy. Near to halfway. This is Tonali under pressure, and then a change of pace. Sometimes I don't think it's the first thing that you see with Tonali because of how measured and majestic some of his play is, but there is a lot of speed, isn't there, with his movement and his play as well. Doesn't seem hurried or rushed necessarily, but if someone gets close to him, he's often he's
a
away.
Good player. His awareness of things around him and what's happening is...
Obviously there's no panic, but he is capable of doing things quickly. Southampton, blocked shot, edge of the area. Bree with an effort. That one's blocked as well, and it's a throw. BBC Radio Newcastle. 8 minutes to play, 3-1, and Newcastle are going back up to 4th. Fabian Schär at the edge of the area wins it. Lewis Miley, first real involvement since coming on, passes it to Murphy. Gordon laid off towards Tonali, but it was misplaced. Bree on the halfway line, right of centre. Sugawara just inside the Newcastle half. Back to Bree. Bednarek. Wide left Aribo, middle third of the pitch. Southampton having possession. Newcastle happy to let them have possession. It's when they win it back and break. The Eddie Howe's team look threatening. Bree to goalkeeper McCarthy. Osula and Almiron sent to warm up. Mateus Fernandez wins a header. Fabian Schär towards Burn. Burn sliding in. Southampton have to play it back to Bednarek.
It's all sloppy now, isn't it?
Home fans starting to leave. A feeling of inevitability about this match and about their season. Miguel Almiron will be coming on. He scored here in a victory for Newcastle in the season they finished 4th, a Premier League victory. Although now he's put a bib on, so he might delay the substitution. Newcastle throw in the corner, defensive corner. Schär back to Livramento and out as it went up the line. If you want to send us a WhatsApp message, 08000 321 333. Put BBC at the start. Save it to your contacts. 08000 321 333 on WhatsApp. And if you want to text, SMS, shorter number 81333. Mistake by Schär. Mateus Fernandez has scored. Fabian Schär with a backward header. Mateus Fernandez had continued his run and got in, and he has beaten Martin Dubravka. And Southampton have brought this back to within 1, and Newcastle were cruising. Now there is a bit of jeopardy at St Mary's. Southampton 2, Newcastle United 3.
That's what happens when you try to take liberties, try to be too clever. Sometimes you try to be too clever for your own good. This might be offside.
Yeah, from the initial ball, from the first ball played forwards from the goalkeeper. I think Mateus Fernandez is offside.
If it is, Schär's got oh so lucky.
Yeah, I think he's offside, isn't he? When the goalkeeper plays it forwards, it's not from the Fabian Schär header, it's from the first ball forwards. Newcastle are told to wait and not kick off. In fact, the ball is back with Martin Dubravka. Chris Kavanagh, the VAR. Yeah,
he is offside,
isn't he?
Yeah.
So this should be chalked off. Although it's Lewis Hall on the far side that might be playing him on.
No, he's not. He's offside.
I think that's where the doubt is. But with Livramento and Murphy, yeah, there's no question about it. I think this is going to be ruled out.
When it's going your way, it's going your way.
86 minutes. Chris Kavanagh, the VAR, assisted by Ian Hussin, taking a look, zooming in and out. Those camera angles.
Get on with it.
Referee Sam Barrett waiting. The assistant on the near side saw nothing wrong with the goal. Mateus Fernandez finished really well. But Newcastle could be getting lucky here, although it's the correct decision. But given that they made a mistake and put themselves under unnecessary stress,
ruining the game, isn't it?
What are they looking at with Livramento here? I mean, it's clear that he's ahead of Livramento, surely.
It's ruining the game.
Side. I thought it was Hall on the far side. He was the furthest back. Mateus Fernandez. Pretty sure he's clear of Livramento, almost completely clear.
How long? I mean, we can see it. He's offside.
He's offside. It won't count.
So why are they taking so long?
Offside is the decision. It won't.
So
count.
why are they taking so long, though? I mean, we've seen it. couple of minutes ago.
We've seen the graphics on the screen that says offside. Now are they looking at whether Fabian Schär touched it or not?
Well, if he touched it, he can't be offside.
But it was. I'm just thinking it was from the first ball though. But then because he was.
Oh, hey, honestly, I don't know what this game's really coming to. I really don't.
Look, we're gonna have to go over the rule book on the train home. Offside. Offside is the decision. Well,
it's embarrassing.
Schär, I mean, Schär went to head it back. It's not entirely clear that he touched it.
He got oh so lucky, trying to be so clever.
It's a huge celebration in the away end. They're all jumping up and down, waving their arms around.
It's not there either. He wasn't offside there. Whoa.
Miguel Almiron's coming on for Anthony Gordon. It may be a goodbye for Almiron. Looks like his move back to Atlanta United is getting closer. It's something we'll ask Eddie Howe about after the game.
Bournemouth 4-0
to Bournemouth.
Ouattara hat-trick.
I thought Cliver got 2.
That's what I heard in my ears, hat-trick.
4-0 definitely to Bournemouth, who are on an incredible run. So Gordon off, Almiron on, Ryan Fraser on for Southampton. And also on is Adam Lallana. Joe Aribo has gone off, and James Bree, the other player, off. Ryan Fraser on against the club he left in the summer, or left last season really, to go on loan to Southampton. So the goal disallowed for offside. We thought Schär had headed it back, but that may not be the case now. Tonali,
he did head it.
Well, I saw a close-up on the replay, and I'm not sure, but
I know why you're saying that, because there hasn't been a hair out of place. The ball didn't disrupt the hair.
We do not hear the VAR conversations, by the way, between the officials. We're wondering what the Premier League Match Centre social media page says. We'll try to find out just the written reasons for the goal disallowed. To explain
Good luck with that.
Well, to explain it in simple terms, to confirm the decision.
Yeah.
But it's 3-1 to Newcastle rather than it being 3-2. Miley on the right wing, that's nice play. Murphy back to Willock, corner of the area into Miley. They could finish it with goal number 4, Newcastle. Almiron, he's gone a long way back with it from the box to the centre circle to Byrne. Now Joelinton with a run, but the ball doesn't find him in the box. He was never getting there actually. Lewis Hall beats Archer to it. Almiron now to Hall. He fancies it. Lewis Hall, it's blocked. Lewis Miley. Livramento sent wide by Miley's pass, 20 yards out. Numbers board about to be presented. Joe Willock tries to flick it away from Harwood Bellis. Minimum of 5 additional minutes. BBC Radio Newcastle. Phone in to follow 0800 234 6565. Call us now. Willock to Murphy. Can they get goal number 4? They've lost the ball, then Schär has won it, and Almiron's got it. This would be fitting if Almiron could score. Into the box, Almiron still going on the outside and saved by McCarthy. That was almost his big moment. It's a corner.
Just waltzes through, doesn't he? Nobody gets anywhere near him.
Are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay. Corner for Newcastle. Goal at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 2, Plymouth Argyle 2. Last stages of that game with Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett. DAB and Freeview Channel 711. No VAR there. So that one must have counted. Must stand. Corner on the left. Almiron so close to scoring. He hasn't scored since December 2023. It's been a while. Here's the corner. Whipped in by Hall. McCarthy punches. Livramento's going to hit it. And does. Oh, just wide. And Schär tried to head it in. don't know if he was offside actually, but
did he get a head on that one?
Livramento into the ground, went for it with his left boot, and it reared up and got away from the goal. Jacob Murphy's coming off and Sean Longstaff is entering the pitch. Murphy gets a pat on the back from Eddie Howe. Murphy got booed actually by the Southampton fans before the game when his name was called out. You might remember the League Cup semi-final first leg when he waved off the Southampton defender Douye Chaleta-Sarr after he was sent off. And that became an internet social media meme, didn't it, Murphy? Bournemouth have scored 5 against Nottingham Forest. Who got that one? Oh, Antoine Semenyo. So Ouattara hat-trick, Kluivert got 1, and Semenyo has got the 5th. Tonali's won possession back on the far side. Almiron wants it played. Almiron could just have it slip through into the box. Almiron, right-hand side, turns back to Tonali. Willock square. Oh,
he's
Tonali.
Offside.
Longstaff was offside, and it ends up in the hands of McCarthy. 2.5 minutes remain of the additional period. Southampton 1.
Southampton just want the final whistle.
Newcastle 3.
Just want the whistle to blow, Southampton, so not just on this game but on the season.
Free kick for Southampton, foul by Cher on Onuachu. Cher is furious and was throwing his arms around. Southampton fans sarcastically cheering the referee. Mateus Fernandes in the centre circle to lift the ball to the edge of the box. Joe Linton's header's gone backwards. Livramento's kept it in, prevented the corner. 90 seconds remaining. Up the line to Lewis Miley. Lost the ball, then won it back, and now Longstaff looking for Miley again. Fernandes nips in. I do like him. Very good player.
Yeah, he's a good player, isn't he?
Fernandes. Jacob Greaves pulled one back for Ipswich at Anfield, 4-1 to Liverpool. Colin White will have all the scores shortly, and then he'll be hosting our phone-in on BBC Radio Newcastle with John Anderson here at St Mary's and Gary Bennett at Sunderland. Walker-Peters, edge of the box now for Archer. He's got away from a couple of challenges, but his shot is off target.
You know what it is? I didn't realise he was on the pitch, Archer.
It's a strange situation. Aston Villa re-signed him from Sheffield United in the summer last year, and then a month later sold him to Southampton.
Strange.
He's got 5 goals, but that was well off target. Looks like Newcastle will have to settle for 3, but having been 1-0 down in the 10th minute, it's a very satisfying turnaround in Southampton. Referee, now it's up to him because we're into the 6th minute of additional time. Cher with a header, Burn away, Almiron chasing, not giving it up. Neither's Willock, who's taken it out wide left. They might get a 4th Newcastle. Miley in the middle. Willock has gone for a curler, and it's one that McCarthy was always sure was going wide. Goal kick to be taken, and then surely that was it. Fernandes' goal was initially awarded on field, says VAR. Checked and established that he was in an offside position in the build-up, and that prevented Southampton from giving us what was potentially a tense final 10 minutes or so, including additional time. It went back to 3-1 to Newcastle rather than 3-2, and that is how it finishes live on BBC Radio Newcastle at St Mary's. Their winning run ended last week, but they have responded by getting 3 points and moving back up to 4th in the Premier League.